Hi, everyone. My name is Zach Izikow. I am the VP of Sales at CodeMonkey. Before I get started here, I'm just going to share my screen. Tyler, you can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so welcome everyone. This webinar, it's a half-hour webinar. We'll get you out at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or wherever else you may be in the United States. We are on our third webinar, the final series. We've done a couple of them, which I'll discuss in a second. This one is specifically CodeMonkey for schools and districts. So welcome everyone. We're really excited about this. We've had a couple good webinars and now we're on our third and final one, at least for these short webinars. Just to introduce myself again, I'm Zach, VP of Sales at CodeMonkey. Been working here for a number of years, started here, I think this will be my 6th year at CodeMonkey. Really looking forward to presenting all of you specifically on this topic, and then I'll let my colleague introduce himself as well. Tyler, maybe you got to unmute yourself.
Yep, that's what you have to do. So my name is Tyler Bates. I've been with CodeMonkey for several years now. I'm a regional sales manager. Just here to assist Zach. If there's any Q&A, we'd love if you guys have any questions, feel free to let us know. And I'm looking forward to the presentation, Zach.
Perfect. All right, so just so everyone should know, if you have any questions, you can always write on the chat or I'm pretty sure the Q&A, and Tyler will answer through writing, and then maybe we'll deal, if there's time for questions at the end, we'll do that. So here's the agenda for today. So we're going to be looking at what do we do the past webinars. Tyler gave the one previously, and then the one before that was given by Molly. Then we're going to figure out why is coding in schools and I guess in districts hard. How does CodeMonkey support teachers, our curriculum, the weekly schedule, and the admin dashboard? The focus of this particular webinar, if I had to give it a slogan or a line, is how to systematically implement a K-8 computer science program. So whether you're a small school, a large school, a small district, a large district, or anything in between, we believe at CodeMonkey, and I'm sure many of you, those of you who are joining in around the United States, believe that computer science, coding, and I'll use those two words interchangeably, believe that computer science should be taught as a subject, just like you would be teaching any other topic, whether it is English, language, math, science, history, geography, so on and so forth. The way that coding has been done, I would say in the last 5-6 years, has been done more sporadically. You'll have a teacher here use this program, another teacher there, and it's sort of been great as the computer science education has developed and improved throughout the United States. It's very important, additionally, that now that we're growing in this space, that we become a little bit more organized, become a little bit more systematic, and do it in a way that really suits the needs of an institution. Because now the teachers on the ground, as well as those who are leading, whether principals or superintendents or directors of curriculum, they're also looking at computer science in that way. And that's what I want to show you, how CodeMonkey does that as well. So before going into it, what is CodeMonkey? So first and foremost, CodeMonkey is a leading coding program for students. I personally like to use the term curriculum. We're a curriculum for kids all over the world. Just a little couple things over here. We're made with schools and teachers in mind, standards aligned, curriculum, as well as a full K curriculum, and the no prior coding experience needed to teach. These are sort of like our 4 main added values pieces over here. And the idea there is we're going to show you how CodeMonkey in these 4 specific aspects really impacts and allows you as a school or district to implement computer science in a real, organized, and systematic way. So why is coding schools and hard? What's difficult about it? Why can't we just begin it? Why is it taking schools and districts years to properly implement a program? And I would say the number one issue, which in my time here at CodeMonkey, and I'm sure Tyler would say the same, and many of you, is that there's a lack of teachers. And I always joke, computer science is a 4-year degree in university, or if you're doing now boot camps or anything like that, it's like 10 months intensive full time. So teachers who are trained in history, math, science, and all of the other subjects who are now being required to teach computer science, we're asking really such a challenging thing for teachers to do. And I've seen this, teachers on the ground, it doesn't matter if they're first starting or they've been teaching for 40 years, they're all in the same place. To ask teachers to learn, not just to be able to teach a new topic, but to learn an entire university degree is an extremely challenging task for schools all over the globe. And that's something which we see day in and day out, and something which Tyler in his previous webinar really focused, which we're not going to do today. We'll talk about it a bit, but a major focus was on the teacher platform. And we'll send out that webinar as well. It will be on our website and you'll be able to access it. Next is timing in the weekly schedule. There are states, and meaning I don't know where everyone is from here today, but there are states that are now, for example, in New York, requiring that students learn K-12 computer science. But if it's not a requirement, or even if it's something new, where do you find time in the weekly schedule to do it? So then let's say if you find teachers or you find timing, which curriculum? There's CodeMonkey, there's this, there's that, there's what the standards are. There's so much. And how do you choose which is the right one? And then what I always like to talk about, and I think it's something really important. I think it's something that we always have to keep in mind, because as educators, and I spent, roughly 10 years in the classroom, we have to think of the students. We really have to think of the students. And if there's one thing that I can say absolutely about CodeMonkey is we are student focused from the get-go, meaning that we started off with a game-based computer science course. Now we're a full curriculum, which I'll talk about, but that's really where we thrive. And that's really what we try to do, is solve that last part. That's what we tried to solve first, is coding is hard. How do we get students to learn? Okay, we created CodeMonkey. Doesn't seem so hard for students anymore with our program. So now, again, Tyler went a lot more in depth in the previous webinar, but this is a major aspect. When we're talking about how do we get teachers, how do we implement a computer science program in a really organized way, it really focuses and starts and ends with the teachers. Those who are on the ground, those who are in front of the students. And what we have done at CodeMonkey is unbelievable. We have created a platform, a user experience for teachers despite their background. We have had teachers who are computer science experts. They're teaching hundreds and hundreds of students within a district. And we have some teachers who've never even thought about coding before and have started teaching it and have done so successfully. And we have an entire dashboard, again, which I'm not going to focus on very much, but again, you could see the recording. They're very short webinars, 30 minutes. We have lesson plans, video tutorials. We have everything technology-wise, and I'll show you here just a little bit. This is our teacher dashboard. We have all the lesson plans. We have solutions to every single challenge that we have in each of our courses. We have video tutorials. In terms of the actual functionality, we have the ability to easily add classes, to get into classes, to see where students are, limit progress. We have answers also over here. If I click over here, it will take me to a 3-star solution, which gives me the actual answer. We have quizzes, proficiency reports, automated grading. Again, not going to go too much into it, but what we have done is we have seriously focused. After we created our first few courses, we realized, okay, we've created something really great for students, And again, I'm not going through our courses or showing that because in our first session with Molly, we went all into our courses. And again, that will be on our website and we'll share that afterwards. But what we have done here is on the tech side of it, the technology, we have automated everything from grading to videos to quizzes, everything we've automated so that the teacher does not have to focus on the technology. We realized very early on that if we can get the tech side of it to be automated, now let's try to focus on the pedagogy and ensure that our teachers who, despite their background, know how to teach. And so we created lesson plans, video tutorials, little short videos, everything in order to help the teacher. But more than that, if I would continue, the lack of teachers very much leads into professional development. And CodeMonkey has created a professional development plan, which we've suggested various types of professional development options. It could be webinars, it could be short 45-minute PD sessions through the year. You know, the more focused one is the most focused one is maybe heavy PD in the summer, which we know a lot of schools and districts do. A lot of times I even suggest don't do any PD. In your first year, take the curriculum, use it, get ready for it, learn how it goes. And then after that, in your next year, when you realize, when everyone understands the technology, whenever anyone's on board, or when you've done all that work, then you can focus on PD. Additionally, in a regular CodeMonkey subscription, there's already PD. Tyler showed this in the last one, but if I go over here, there's an asynchronous recording of a introduction to text-based computer science, which I'll talk about. We have an entire page dedicated to webinars, which all of our webinars, as you can see, will be posted up there, and so on and so forth, talking about technology, maybe pedagogical. So just built within our CodeMonkey subscription, you already have professional development options, and it's so easy for teachers. It really, really is. So when we're talking about how can we implement a district-wide or school-wide computer science curriculum, program, however you want to define it, you need to think of the teachers. And CodeMonkey, very, very early on, like 7-8 years ago, has already started focusing on how we can make this best for every single teacher. Now, I have to go into the curriculum. Now, I mentioned one of the hard things was how do we choose the curriculum and all that. But I would even take a step back and tell you that many of your teachers on the ground, and a lot of you know this, there's a lot of computer science coding programs, curriculum. Maybe there are hardware, software, a mix of everything. And the question which you have to think about is, what is an activity? What is a program? And what is a curriculum? An activity or a program, I would say, is what's been happening the past few years. Teacher finds something that they really like, they think it would be engaging to the kids, so they bring it into the classroom and they use it twice in the year. Great, check mark, you've done coding. But that's not how we learn. That's maybe how you get kids excited. And I'm not downplaying those programs and activities at all. In fact, there are many schools and districts that use CodeMonkey as well as other maybe hardware activities, which are once or twice that they can pull it out every single time, maybe that there's a extra time during the day or anything. But curriculum, that's the term, that's the language we want to use when it comes to computer science. We don't want to use activity. We don't want to use program. Just like when we're talking about English or Spanish or math, we use curriculum. And what I'm showing you here, just a couple of awards that we have won across the globe. And I don't say this as like an ego boost to CodeMonkey, even though it sort of is. I say that because the experts in computer science around the world have recognized CodeMonkey as a leading computer science curriculum globally. And that is really important. It's very important because I'll be at ISTE, and I hope everyone here, if you're going to ISTE in Philadelphia in a few weeks, you'll join us, you'll come to our booth. And I see when those who have learned computer science, they see it and they instantly realize, wow, this is something unique. This is something special. This is something different. And I'll explain why. We're a full K-8 curriculum. We go all the way from kindergarten with pretty simple, easy to use courses, all the way up to Python courses, which are quite difficult. And this is a major difference in terms of what we are doing at CodeMonkey versus what's happening maybe with some other programs. And again, not here to compare and contrast, just trying to talk about the value of CodeMonkey. When you're looking at your curriculum for your school or district, what's happening, and I don't know everyone's background here, so I'm going to assume it's a little bit more that you would know what block-based coding is. I would say roughly between 90 to 95% of computer science, maybe curriculum, program activities, whatever you want to say, for the K-6 is block-based, meaning it's the drag and dropping of code. That's really, really important. There's no doubt about that. But the question is, until when do you do block-based coding? So CodeMonkey, meaning if I go to our courses, you can see on our platform, we have block-based coding. We have block-based coding novice, beginner, but then you'll see that it's text-based coding. Now, what does that look like? So again, not to delve into it because we've already done this, but just to show you, if I were to go, and this is our courses, and I'll get into sort of the students. Oh, this is not a good example, sorry. Let's just pick over here. The students over here, they're writing a loop. So let's say if they're writing over here, step 13, turn right. What you see is students are actually writing code as opposed to block-based coding. And that's really significant in terms of what we are doing. And this is why it's really important. I read today, just as an example, CSTA and code.org, they launch every year a yearly CS overview of all of the United States. And I read today specifically, like in terms of Connecticut, 5% of high school students in Connecticut take computer science courses. And the reason is because not enough students are probably doing it in elementary school. But more than that, even if they are doing it in elementary, middle school, what are they doing? If they're doing block-based coding courses, when they get to high school and they have to take AP computer science courses, or maybe not even AP, but regular computer science courses, they're really, really behind. Because the best example I always like to give is it's if like you're teaching a language, English, Spanish, whatever it may be. If you took kindergarten in grade 8 and you only taught students grammar, and then you get into 9th grade and you say, go write an essay, right? You say, go write an essay. They'll be like, we've never written an essay. We just learned about essays. We learned grammar. We learned exclamation points and verb, like all of that. But if they've never written, then they're going to have a very hard time in high school writing an essay. And that's very much our belief in CodeMonkey. We want to make sure students are progressing year after year after year, just like they are doing with other subjects. Math, science, again, I'll sort of stress that. That's extremely important to us. We do not want to continue our students on block-based coding when they're in middle school, right? If they're doing that, that's great. But then the idea, it's not great. It's good that they're doing that as opposed to nothing. But then where's the organization there? Where's the systematic approach there? Where is the thought processes in terms of ensuring that by the time they get to high school, they're prepared like they are in other subjects? And that's why our curriculum is extremely important, right? So when you're choosing a curriculum, you have to think, what curriculum prepares students for high school? What curriculum takes students from kindergarten and ensures that they're progressing and building on their theoretical knowledge as well as their skill set year after year after year? And that's what CodeMonkey is doing. So when you're thinking about your school or district, that in terms of curriculum, you have to be thinking, how are the students progressing? Are they going to be ready for high school? And even more so, and this could be a school and a district, are all the students learning the same thing? Are you giving them equal opportunity, right? If you have some students in schools in one area only doing block-based and other schools doing text-based, the students who are doing text-based coding, writing code and learning how to code are going to be way more advanced. When you choose a curriculum for your school or for your district, you're providing equal opportunity to all schools, all students, in terms of giving them the proper computer science education. And again, we have 10 minutes here, so I'll get to everything. Yeah, I would be remiss if I talked about curriculum and don't talk about our courses. And again, we did this so much in one of them. Like you could see, every one of our courses are gamified. And I want to be very clear. We do not have games. CodeMonkey is not a game. CodeMonkey has courses that are gamified. And there's a very big difference there. When you play a game, you may learn, you may not learn. When you're doing a course, you're learning. The gamification in what we are doing is bringing the students in. It's engaging them. It's created in a way that is so special for them and so easy and intuitive. They learn through osmosis. They learn through play. They learn just by doing. And that's a very, very unique aspect. And I could even push it so far, and I don't want to jump into this too much, but we ventured this year out of coding. We created 2 digital literacy courses, which you can see on a CodeMonkey trial on www.codemonkey.com. Digital literacy courses, but in the CodeMonkey way, the pedagogy that we've done. And this year, after 1 year, became our 3rd most used course out of all of our courses because it was such a needed course, but we were able to take that pedagogy, this gamification, these aspects, and apply it to the field of technology, digital literacy. We have a digital use and a digital citizenship course, but we did it in the CodeMonkey way, and it is unbelievable, and we're only building on that. And so when we talk about curriculum, it's not just about systematic curriculum, equal opportunity, all these things are important. It's also important about the individual student. How are you supporting? All of you became teachers, educators, principals, superintendents, because you care about the large school, the district, but you also care about the individual student. And we talk about CodeMonkey being hard for students. We've really solved that in one of the most unbelievable ed tech or pedagogical ways that they've been. Just a couple of more things that I think are just like good things about CodeMonkey. Not, I think it applies to the, what I'm trying to show is why CodeMonkey is great for schools and districts. It's great for individuals or groups, whether they're learning in school by themselves. I remember visiting a district in New Jersey where one student was up to challenge 50, another was up to challenge 20. The student in challenge 50 came up, helped the student in challenge 20. They can learn by themselves. It's all web-based. You don't need to download anything. So students can even do it at home for homework. So it's really great. Some other things, we have courses that you are learning and courses that you are creating. I won't have time to show that, but courses that I know that's very important to have results. Like, okay, so they're playing this course, but how does that show in their actual skill set? So we have courses where they're challenge builder, they're building challenges, they're building games, they've built a chat bot in Python and so on and so forth. So we have everything. Inclusive, I think this cannot be stressed enough. I'm very happy to see sort of nowadays that ed tech companies are becoming more inclusive, adding more tools to be more inclusive of different types of students with different learning challenges and different backgrounds. And we have a narration tool. We have buttons that, it's not drag and drop, but it writes for the students that have a difficult time with maybe some motor functions. And we're constantly trying to get better and better at that. And I don't think, obviously, I think on a systematic level, that is absolutely significant. And we're only trying to do better. And the more we partner with districts and schools, the better feedback we get and the more we try to improve there. Thankfully, this is not as relevant as it used to be, but still relevant. CodeMonkey, again, you don't need to download anything. It's all web-based. It's a fantastic program in school. It's a great program outside or even both. So if you're a virtual school or if you have virtual class, it's fantastic. Have a few minutes here left. This is really important. And I think I only have a couple more slides and leave a few minutes for questions. So if you're embarking and I had a meeting today, really just an hour ago, with a district of 5 schools that's really looking at improving their computer science program. It's not mandatory in the state yet, but they understand that it will be in a few years and they want to start implementing. So how do you do that? How do we do that? So maybe there's not funding, maybe there's not time, you have packed schedule. So these are the sort of, if you sort of start with the most intensive and go down, these are some of my suggestions. So this is very common in middle schools. In CodeMonkey, again, is K-8. So we're in elementary and middle school. So some do short rotations of 6 to 8 classes throughout the year. So maybe not everyone gets throughout the year, but if they do 8 classes in 8 weeks or whatever that may be, that gives them, a lot of time to use it, practice, go ahead and really build up their skills so that they can get to the next year. That may be too much. So maybe once per week, 45 minutes to an hour, once bi-weekly, right? That sometimes works. We have a district with, I think, something like 75 schools that has an after school in each school using CodeMonkey, and that's only grown. And not only that, that is probably going to grow, and then that's going to sort of seep into the weekly schedule where it's not going to be after school, but it's going to be offered. And then lastly, and I see this internationally a lot, just a little bit up north in Canada, this is how they do it in many of their provinces, which they integrate coding into their math every year. They have like a 2-month coding subject within their math course, and that's when they do it. These are all different ideas, and myself and whoever would be your rep in your state, we would be happy to discuss this with you in more in depth. And that's also, I didn't put this in the slide, but very, very important with CodeMonkey is that every school and district gets a dedicated customer success manager to help you with this. How many times a week do you want to do this? All of that. And that's a really important point about CodeMonkey, which cannot be stressed. Our customer success people are there for you to ensure we have the curriculum that you can implement to be systematic in coding in your district or school. They ensure that happens. And now sort of just the last thing, and this is really important, I left a few minutes for this, is our admin dashboard. So sort of to show it you in real time, let me just go back. This is an example of our admin dashboard. So there are so many aspects to this. What is important for administrator, whether of a district or of a school? So we talked about teachers, students, we talked about the inclusivity, we talked about the importance of curriculum. But now we talk about you and your job and ensuring this is success. So first of all, I think it's really important. We have added, as I mentioned, like 70, we add hundreds of thousands of students. We have ministries of education around the world using our program. We have SSO, ClassLink, Clever, Microsoft, Google to really eliminate any type of issue when it comes to rostering. So first and foremost, this district that I just spoke to, they use Google. Easy. That's really, really important. We want to make sure that the rostering capabilities of our districts and schools super, super simple. Additionally, we have a scope and sequence, and I'm happy to share that. When we talk about curriculum, we have a scope and sequence which goes K-8. We can tell you how to implement the computer science program per grade. We can really consult with you on how to do that properly. We have PD options available, which I've mentioned before for your teachers. But we also have data. We can tell you how many schools you have, your classrooms. This is just our initial, and we're constantly improving this. This is your dashboard. You can see the total sites on minutes, the active students, how many solutions were submitted, how much progress, the active classrooms, you have your subscription details. Then you can go into more. You can see your schools. You can see the names of your schools, how many students per school, how many teachers per school, where are your teachers, what are their functionalities. You can see all of the classrooms. So we have usage reports, which you can see generate, but that would just take a little bit more time. We have proficiency reports to see not just how much they're using it, but what are the grades that they're getting, and so on and so forth. We provide the data so that you as an administrator, if you choose to do CodeMonkey, you can make an informed decision the following year is this a good program? Are we actually using it? Are our teachers using it? And we look at this and we say, okay, 3 months into this, hey, administrator from, this school district, the Flower School District, there's flowers right in front of me as an example. Like, we see that, you purchased for 10 schools, but you've only added 4. We look at that and share that with you. So the data that we provide you allows you to see and make sure that it's going well. We allow you to do SSO to roster very, very easily. You can add teachers, add students. We're aligned. This is really important. We're aligned with CSDA and ISTE, and we're aligned, I think, with so many states, like roughly 60, 70% of US states. We have aligned our curriculum to those specific states. So all of that really makes it for the administrator really, really important that you have the proper tools to have a successful launch of CodeMonkey year after year after year. So the benefits, and I always like to say this because I think it's really important, and I'm sorry I came a couple minutes over. We're great for students, make it easy, engaging, and fun for our teachers. It's intuitive, so many resources, plenty of help on the platform. And for administrators, the rostering, usage reports, the data, everything, it's web-based, the rostering. When it comes to your school, when it comes to your district, we make it really, really simple to be able to launch a successful computer science, K-8 computer science program. And that's what we're trying to do. I would say our niche is those that have done nothing and those that have done a little bit of something and are making their way and want to improve. Those are the districts that we've really helped. If you're a district already using something and it's going great, I'm sure we could do well for you. And I'm sure that would be still be a good program. But I don't know if, maybe it'd be great, but it's not going to necessarily solve any of the issues if you have everything in place. If you're looking to improve, if you're looking to upgrade, if you're looking to implement, if you're looking to really systematically approach computer science like you do other courses, CodeMonkey solves all of that. I really appreciate your time. I would suggest either you as an administrator or your teachers going on CodeMonkey and signing up for a teacher trial. If you're interested in an actual subscription, here's an email that you can do. And we're launching, as of today, a special offer that if you get a PO if we send you a quote and you get a PO signed, and you can also sign our quotes, you can get a free subscription for the rest of the year. And then next year, you'll start your actual subscription. So want to thank you all. I appreciate it. I went a couple minutes over time. Tyler, thank you for your time. And I'm going to stop sharing. And are there any questions? Wait a minute or so if there's any questions.
Not seeing any in the chat here. Here, I'll allow these individuals to talk if they do have something. Let's see here.
No.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Tyler, again, thank you for everyone who came on. We'll put these recordings all on our webinar page, which we will send out to you guys in the next week. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.